Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Dan Show. Hey, Dan.
Hey, Kylie, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. Hey, I wanted to call this today. I wanted to look our shareholders in the eye and say, hey, here we are.
We're still thriving, still surviving, and still getting better every single day.
Hey, one cool thing on today's Dan Show, we're going to have Doug in here, right?
Yes, Doug Hineline. He is our tech lead, platform developer. He's brilliant. He's going to sit down with us and talk about some of the big things that we're working on here behind the scenes. That's kind of hard to talk about a lot of times, but he does a great job.
He does a great job. Let's let him do it. But we want you to see what's really going on behind the scenes. So look forward to Doug here in a couple of minutes. But first, I wanted to say the share price. It's in our face, right? Nobody. I'm not going to say, I'm not diminishing anybody else when I say this, but nobody cares about the share price more than I do. Number one, I'm the initiator of the company. Everyone invested as much for the idea as they did me. And I don't say that like from an ego standpoint. What I mean is I take it very personally. Everyone that put a dime into this company, I feel like I was part of that decision, and I don't want to ever let that down. I'm also the largest shareholder in the company, and I would never intentionally turn this, business into a head on into a wall or anything like that, right? We're doing everything we can every day to execute. And I just want to step back and say we've been public for about 8 months, right? If you look at what we've done in 8 months, we're over 40 employees. We moved into a new world-class headquarters, Fishers, Indiana. We've entered into NVIDIA. What am I trying to say?
Oh, we went to the NVIDIA Connect program. We were entered into that.
Yep. We've gone into the NVIDIA Connect program.
And are utilizing it daily.
Every day. We've got some of the most cutting-edge equipment and platforms available anywhere in the world right here in this building. We have huge tech computing power, some of the biggest in the area. And then we've got IP that continues to be generated and issued to us, intellectual property. We're coming out with new products, new features, benefits. We're rolling out in new areas. We're showcasing it. We've got a lot going on that we're moving so fast. And I used to think that the market was a leading indicator. You could look at it and see where things were going. But after seeing how our stock has been treated, I feel like it's a lagging indicator because I don't feel like it is giving us credit for everything that's happening here. These are my own views, forward-looking statements, whatever you want to say. Did I ever think that I'd see the shares this low? No, I didn't. In fact, I just recently bought more, right? Check the filing that's out there. But anyway, I wanted to come on and say, hey, you guys know my number, 317-694-7520. If you're an early investor or a new one, I celebrate that. What we've done is exceptional. Going from a crowdfunded company to the NASDAQ, it's never been done before the way we've done it. And if you believe in the journey of how we got here and where we are, and that autonomous delivery is going to happen at scale, then we're the infrastructure that's going to make all that happen, right?
Yeah, and it's being built right now, which is why we wanted to invite Doug in on this conversation to explain really how it's being built and the team that's behind the building of it.
That's right.
So let's bring Doug in.
Let's get Doug.
We'd like to introduce you to
bring this out of the mud and get Doug in here.
Let's do it. Welcome, Doug. We're excited to have you on the Dan Show.
Glad to be here.
Doug, I'm happy you're on our team. You're a hell of a guy. Great to have you, man.
Yeah, good leader, good communicator, great personality. I mean, you bring all of it, but then there's a lot going on up here too, just like a little bit.
Hey, I wanted Doug to come on because I want people that are investors and everyday people that are getting to know us. I want them to see what's happening kind of behind the scenes. And you're great at what you do, and you can tell them what your role is, but you're also great at articulating that. And that's rare. So I value that, and I really appreciate that.
I think it's high praise. Yeah. So my name is Doug Hineline. I am the tech lead for the platform team here at Arrive AI. I run the team that is the core software engineers behind the next gen product line. It also includes the data engineering team and the roboticists and vision teams. So we're in the thick of it, building the next platform. We really are going to be pushing forward the future of multimodal delivery in robotics. It's really exciting. There's hardly any technology that we don't touch on a daily basis. Everything from sort of standard web dev, app development, to GIS systems, to machine learning, to robotics, kinematics, motion planning, you name it, and we are diving deep. So
that's great. Hey, talk about the team around you that we've built here at Arrive AI.
Absolutely amazing. So
and why don't you contrast that with your experience, like what you've seen in other opportunities? Just want people to know that.
The first and most noticeable thing is just the amazing spectrum of professional skill sets is the first thing that's most striking. So we have a team that's composed of some of the best engineers from electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, systems engineering. We have people that specialize in algorithmic optimization. We have some of the best sort of DevX, DevOps kind of solutions engineers. We have amazing experience in terms of scaling large data systems. We have the ability to build a large-scale pipeline for AI use cases as well.
Over 100 years of AI experience, right, Kylie?
Yes, we have hundreds of years of development experience in all the different arms that he's talking about, but specifically with an AI, about 100 years experience.
Well, and I didn't even finish my list. So we also have...
there's more?
Yeah, there's more. Wait, there's more. So we also have roboticists and vision experts as well. So literally, there's no like bleeding edge technology that we don't have a high aptitude for internally in our team. And we're also building in the infrastructure that will allow a team like that to really sing. And these things take a little, it's sort of a flywheel where it takes time for it to get going. But we have in-house ability for building and training our own machine learning algorithms and optimizing those algorithms for our use cases. So a lot of AI teams, they will sort of go on Hugging Face or another environment and pull down a model, and what you see is what you get, and that's kind of, they hope that it solves their problem. There's no limit to the actual applications that we can build in-house here at Arrive. And that's one thing that I think is a little bit different for a company like ours, is just the raw capacity to do really sort of groundbreaking and bleeding edge work.
Yeah, I was going to say, talk about it. It's a greenfield project. We're taking a software first approach, right?
Absolutely.
Let's talk about what that means and how that's different.
Yeah, so software first, it kind of means a little different things to different people. For us, it really comes down to sort of first principles thinking in the software space. So designing around architecture and security and proper design patterning from the start. So a lot of times you'll start with an engineering problem where you get fixated on specific applications. And then you kind of muddle through something that remains scalable and cost effective. Focusing on software first means that we can adopt the best technologies with the best security, with the best comms and throughput, and that becomes the backbone for a system that you can build any kind of application that you want. So we're really thinking about building a true Arrive OS kind of environment where it's our operating system with the very best and modern standards of software, application design, and architecture design.
So a lot of the team have been here. I guess a few people started before we moved out of Launch Fishers and made it to the building, but now we've got some 40 plus people. And I was talking to DJ yesterday and I said, are you where you thought you would be as far as progress and development?
Who's DJ and what's he do?
Well, that's,
DJ is our senior platform engineer. So he's sort of my better half in the engineering side of the organization. So he's driving the main design around our Rust-based Arrive OS for the embedded system. So.
But his answer was, we're leaps and bounds ahead of anywhere I could have imagined we would be. That was like, he was awesome. Giddy. I mean, he was so excited.
Well, as the tech lead, I always want to be a little farther than where we are.
Sure.
But it's high praise coming from him too. He's an outstanding engineer, one of the best I've ever worked with. So it's coming from him, that means quite a lot. So. Yeah.
And you guys are having fun back there. I mean, developing something brand new.
I know you don't want to hear it's almost too much fun.
You can never have too much fun.
Yeah.
Kill with that, Doug.
Well, and we're in the thick of doing a lot of benchmarking on different provider hardware. So we're doing a lot of vendor selection right now. And when you're a nerdy tech kind of guy, when a manager walks over and hands you a new prototype dev kit and says, run it through its paces, you get a big grin, right? So everybody back there is really happy right now.
I wouldn't know.
Don't you have dreams about that?
I wouldn't know. No, but I believe you. That's why we're glad you're here. Hey, talk about coming off CES, some of the big opportunities that are in front of us, some of the biggest companies in the world.
Well, so
I really want to convey the fact that this is not vaporware. What we're doing here is real, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't want to say it's surprising. Actually, it's quite what I expected. There's hardly a chip maker that we've talked to that doesn't sort of love the concept of what we're trying to achieve. Obviously you're in the sales process, so everyone wants to be your best friend, but there's legitimate interest from a technology and technical standpoint for like the solution engineering side as well with these companies. So we've been talking to NXP and Qualcomm and directly to AMD and some others, and trying to understand what are the different solutions, the strengths and weaknesses and costs and supply chain issues with all of the different product lines. Sort of unanimously across the board, when we explain to them the vision of what we're doing and the zonal architecture that we're putting together, the kinds of design considerations that we're bringing to bear on our process, it's unanimously received well, and they're excited about what
one of the cool things that, you're always coming up with new things as you develop what your roadmap is. And one of the cool things that I see emerging is this idea of a distributed data center. We all know
Right,
data center usage and what's going on out there and clamoring for resources. And then we'll talk a little bit about what that opportunity could look like for Arrive.
So this is a fascinating concept. You figure this is the nature of the sort of the AIoT space, which I think we're definitely in, maybe the front line of that. We went through a stage where we started making devices smarter and smarter, and as the IoT revolution, we're kind of getting to the point now that machine learning and AI is being embedded in those IoT, you're actually having intelligence wired into things. When we look at what we're doing, we really have the opportunity to build in a little bit of capability that is room for growth, right, is one way of looking at it. So overspeccing things a little bit, and eventually you can imagine a future where there are tens of thousands of our devices all around the United States who are doing many things. They're listening to the environment, they're watching for safety reasons, they're doing smart city applications. But generally speaking, unless the robotic element, the interaction element is in play, they're idled down, right? There's resources available. They're all going to be networked together with the highest level of security that we can achieve, which means that we can capitalize on that compute capability as a distributed network. Really, the sky's the limit. The kinds of applications that we can build on top of that are wild to think about.
One of the things I always say is, when you've got this new platform, you're the gateway to every home and business throughout the world, great connectivity. There's more use cases we don't know about what we're going to do than we do know. Yeah. And that's what's exciting for me every day. And coming up with things like the distributed data center, we know what that means in the market today. And the fact that we might have the opportunity to become that and set that tone for the market, it's really exciting.
Yeah, right. And usually the use case that kind of clicks with people is you say like mine Bitcoin, because everyone kind of understands that. Mm-hmm. But the things that I'm more interested in are, we could even make this network available for like research purposes or scientific research, especially anything that requires a lot of just general compute.
Sure.
It's just fascinating to think about.
Yeah.
So where are we getting that power from?
So that's a very interesting question. So all of these design constraints have trade-offs, right? So one of the things we have to look at with our device is power consumption. That's one. And another one is connectivity. So nothing in the universe that involves physics is free. Mm-hmm. So there's a series of trade-offs. Obviously, as we get through the process of designing this, little by little, we will improve upon all aspects of its performance from a power management perspective, as well as how noisy of a device it is, for lack of a better way of describing it. But there's lots of things that can be brought to bear in sort of the manufacturing and the DFM design process that will allow us to get better at that over time, especially because there's a motion part of what we do that is also sort of costly from a power management perspective as well. A 50-pound thing is always going to weigh 50 pounds. There's no way that I can come up with software to fix that problem.
Attach helium to it.
Okay, yeah. We haven't thought of that one. Maybe we'll try it. So it's going to be one of those where over time it's going to get better and better and better. We are in an early R&D skunkworks prototype stage. So I can't promise that the first device is going to be the most efficient thing you've ever seen.
Sure.
But I can pretty much promise that every time we revise it, it will get better and better and better. And people will be surprised, I think, where we can get to.
And I guess the thing too, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but how each specialty engineer has been working they work together, but rather siloed in their specialty. Mm-hmm. And this week you're seeing them come together, which seems to be a pretty exciting moment.
Yeah, and It warms the heart. I can't even communicate how proud of this team I am. We came together. We were all onboarded almost simultaneously, which at the time seemed slightly crazy, if I might admit it. But they really come together, and I think when you are presented with a very large vision, the first part is to try to figure out what are the individual sort of streams of development that need to happen to achieve that goal.
What's that? Storm, form, and norm.
Storm, form, and norm. Yeah, as Mark says, we've been storming. We've definitely been storming. So if you think about our project, we have the robotics embedded system. We have the big data application layer, sort of the getting ready to have supercharged AI use cases on the backside. And then we have the marketplace network concept that we're building. And then there's also another sort of task set, which is sort of third-party IoT management. So like almost fleet management kind of stuff. All of those have sort of been running concurrently, and different resources on the team have been working on them as we're able to spec them and scope them. We're kind of getting to the point in the next 2 to 4 weeks where those projects are going to start merging back up, and we're going to have end-to-end pipelines for some use cases working on prototypes. That really changes the game.
Hey, send us out with a little tease about something, some victory or some big win that you're seeing, something exciting. Share with some inside baseball.
So the big wins, well, so there's the sort of the macro environment in our space. One of the things that's fascinating as a manager, and it's hard to keep up with, frankly, because the rate of change has accelerated so much, is just the tools that we're able to bring to bear in our space.
Is that the NVIDIA stuff? Or
well, not just, so across the board. So, we use NVIDIA Omniverse stack. We're doing a lot of stuff heavy on the simulation side, but also just in the general AI space. We're tooling up around AI in every way imaginable.
We're using a lot of Claude back there, aren't we?
Yeah, so we're heavy on Anthropic. Claude has been amazing. We're building out infrastructure around that. So it's, everyone likes to talk about a 10x engineer. I make the argument you don't really have 10x engineers. You build 3x, 5x teams, and it's all around adopting the best tools and remaining forward-looking. That's one thing I would say is quite amazing with this team, because we have the skill sets and aptitudes that people can see its value and actually leverage it properly.
Yeah. And how have we done as far as keeping you out on allowing you to get the right tools and things? How do you feel like you got the right environment?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And actually we're being encouraged to adopt the latest and greatest and stay current, right? So that would be one thing I would flag. The other thing is just like I was saying before, there's winning is contagious, is the way I describe it. So the fact that for the first time we're going to start being able to demo end-to-end concepts of sort of almost the entire life cycle of what we've been asked to build it's just going to motivate people like you've never seen. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, Doug, thanks for coming in.
Of course, anytime.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Yeah. We always love talking to you.
Yeah. See you later. That's Doug Hineline. Thank you, Doug.
Real deal. Real deal here.
See you soon, buddy. Thanks.
Thanks, Doug. Pretty impressive.
Doug's amazing, right? I'm the Doug Show.
The Doug Show. We should have a...
I'm gone, guys. Bye.
But we do want to we have so many milestones. You mentioned a lot of them earlier.
I want to be $1 billion company
Yes.
this year. That's my whisper goal. Why can't we make it to $1 billion? If you can be at $1 million, you can be at $1 billion, right? So we've got some big things happening, and I'm driven to get us there. I think the number's $29.33 a share. I think I did some math. So if we get to $29.33 a share or thereabouts, we're $1 billion company. I think it's doable in this market. So let's all move toward that, right?
Yeah. And to get to that valuation, we're building relationships every day. It was a huge success at CES. So many meetings. It was some 20 meetings with giant players in the industry.
And they're all coming here to visit us.
They're visiting us one by one,
Right.
and they're incredibly impressed with our team and what we're building. That was just one thing. We have the India.
Hey, what's impactful? Tell us something impactful.
we have an India AI Impact Summit next week.
I knew it was going to be impactful.
Yes.
NVIDIA.
NVIDIA's there.
So Jensen's going to hang out.
Jensen's there.
Jensen Huang. You guys know him, CEO of NVIDIA.
Yeah.
Prime Minister Modi.
He'll be speaking on Tuesday.
Okay.
And
we're going to have an arrive point there.
We will have an arrive point there.
Who else is going to be there?
Well, Autonomy and Sky Air, but on our team we have Robert Rex and Kieran Paul. So Kieran Paul is our director of strategy
Kieran, not Karen.
Kieran, yes, Kieran Paul. He is in India. He's from India, and he is there. So he is our boots on the ground in that region of the world.
And I'm just teasing this. They're not driving this there, but this is our new van that is coming out soon. So
yes,
we got to keep moving here.
It's underway. Yeah. So that's one exciting thing. We've got HIMSS conference coming up, which is a big healthcare conference in Las Vegas.
Yep. When is that? March?
That is in March 9th through 12th.
We have the Roth conference, capital market conference in San Diego.
Yeah, we're hitting all the branches
in March.
We've got sales, marketing. We've got
just got back from Atlanta this week.
Atlanta.
We went to some major players down there. We got some big stuff coming on that. Stay tuned there.
Yeah.
Doug was great. Thanks for making this happen, everybody, and you too. And I think that's it, right?
That's it.
Let's wrap it.